Woo! Good morning, market snipers. Welcome back. This is Jesse. We're getting started right at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right on the dot as usual. It says 9:01 right now, but we did start right at 9 a.m. So if you're new to the live stream, awesome. Welcome. If you're returning to the live stream, even better. Good to see you back on here. On the first half of the live stream, we will cover Bitcoin, altcoins, stocks, and anything else that jumps at us on the watch list. On the second half of the live stream, we will answer questions. We will cover your chart requests. So just make sure to put in your ticker symbol. Make sure to put in the asset name and the asset class. Is it crypto? Is it stock? Whatever it is. There's a lot of ticker symbols that overlap. So help me search for it quickly. Keep the live streaming over here. And with that, of course, obviously, none of this is financial advice. Obviously, this is for education purposes only. And hopefully we have a little bit of fun along the way. So with that, the title is Bitcoin Buy Signal in a Bear Market, right? And if we just look at the indicator by itself, it tells a lot of the story, right? Big drop down, getting oversold, big wick at the bottom. Then we saw a relief rally for 54 days. And from wick to wick, that was 21.64%, right? Then we saw a big drop down, dropping, starting to get oversold. Can remain oversold. Pretty good size wick at the bottom, right? Then we expect bounces. We expect relief rallies, right? And now we're getting the bounce / relief rally. And currently from wick to wick, as of right now, it's up 22.43%. But the overall higher time frames, let me get situated over here. The overall higher time frames remain bearish, right? The monthly chart, the 3-week chart, the 2-week chart, the 1-week chart, etc. So, but as of right now, we have a pending buy signal. It's bouncing, and it's currently up 22% from wick to wick, and over here is about 21.5%. So, on this, we will come back and we'll make sure to cover the weekly chart, 2-week chart, 3-week chart, monthly chart, all of that on Bitcoin as well. A lot to cover today. Good morning. Good to see you. Yep. I don't know what that means. Hold on. Okay. Jason, good morning. Desert Monsoon 2464. Desert Monsoon, what state are you in? Are you in Arizona by chance? Good morning, GLMR Moonbeam. Yeah, pick one. Which one do you want? The one that has the most chart history would probably be better, but pick one. Mighty Kirk, Market Sniper in the house. What's up? Good morning. London, UK, not so sexy news, aka Lawrence, always helping out on both apps. I appreciate that. Good morning. Hello. GLMR. Okay, cool. Desert Monsoon. I wonder if you're in Arizona. But with that, here's Here's the chart, and we cover this on the live streams. FICOS 83, hello, hello, hello. We covered this. There's a lot of similarities to this last relief rally, right? So, get rid of that dot. Broke out, buy signal, broke out. We even had a trend line over here like this, a more aggressive one. Buy signal, breakout, hit the exact same two targets as it did in March, April 2022 on that retracement. Hit the exact same two market sniper targets. Then started to break back down, right? We've been talking about price possibly taking out this wick over here above 72,000, and currently it's taking it out at 73,500, right? Price is back down here at 67,000. Yesterday we were talking about price could break out. And of course, this doesn't show like how high a wick could go. The wick could keep going. And the bounce could be higher, right? We don't have a magic crystal ball whatsoever, but we're already kind of laying it out that price could pump up similar to over here and then reverse back down, right? And then reverse back down. So, we got a couple of reply guys on my X posts. You said by the end of February. Yeah, well, it was at the moment price was breaking down, and it could have been by the end of February. And every single day we cover, when it was getting close, when it was at the end of February, we're like, maybe by the 1st of March. And then yesterday and this week, we were looking at the weekly chart, and we are already kind of, whale alert. We've got a whale alert. Breaking news. 90 million minted. Okay, cool. Whale alert. Look out. So there we go. We were showing the weekly chart, and we'll show it again with the fractal and stuff like that. This bear market is kind of ahead of schedule. So it makes sense that, we move the timing of it to possibly the beginning of April of coming down to these lower levels. So these lower levels haven't changed for me, but the timing, we don't know exactly how the price action is going to play out. We don't know exactly what the market bosses are going to do. But here's what we do know. It's a bear market. The higher time frames remain bearish, and we expect bounces along the way. So, however the price action plays out, we don't know. I can check my magic crystal ball, but it's going to say magic 8-ball. Was that old game that it was like the magic 8-ball and it said not likely or unclear, right? It's a magic 8-ball and it doesn't give you clear answers. It's pretty funny. But so here we are. Price was down here, and we talked about, well, it could break out similar to over here, hit a couple targets or hit a target or two, and then reverse back down, right? And then reverse back down. So we'll get into it. We'll cover it all. But before we do, we're going to cover the weekly chart, 2-week chart, 3-week chart, monthly chart, then the altcoins, then stocks, and then we'll come back and circle back and do the chart requests. So stick around for all of that. Don't forget to smash the like, comment, repost, restream. Everything helps me, help you, help me with the algorithms. I would appreciate it. We don't take any affiliate dollars whatsoever. We've never taken one affiliate dollar whatsoever. So we do a quick plug over here. You go to Market Sniper Pro or Jesse Olson, find the website. You got all the features over here. 70 plus hours of recorded coaching, setups, dashboard, our own charting system with I think is an awesome screener and all of that stuff. And then you can come over here and you can see our charting system. I have automatic gap detection on for NVIDIA and Apple, Microsoft. Filled this major gap over here. It's got a 7.5% gap over here. And I've got the auto trend lines on. NVIDIA, I already covered that one. Tesla, all of that. So I love the gap detection, the auto trend lines, and of course, got the Sniper RSI automatic trend lines on there. Picks up bullish divergence, all of that stuff. So what else? QQQ, lot of gaps, right? A lot of gaps. Bouncing right now, though. It is bouncing right now. So it's hard to kill a bull. It's hard to kill a bull. So SPY doesn't look as, it's hard to see. Did it gap up? Of course it did. It did gap up. Yep. So gapped up and created that gap already. And we got gaps below too. So IWM gap up, TQQQQ gap up, BRK.B, right? So all of that. And then of course the screener, you can bearish divergence. Let's see. You can change it to bullish divergence. And you've got a couple different ones, right? FNW, that's a new one. On the bullish divergence for the daily chart on the screener, it's been talking about the PEW, but then you can go to the weekly chart and you can change it around. And there's so many different ways to look at it too. But you've got bullish divergence getting picked up on the weekly chart for NFE, MSAI, and it could remain diverged, right? So it's still, these charts still look bearish, but for example, MSAI, that's a long bullish divergence with gaps above. So that one actually kind of looks interesting. Another whale alert? Come on. 71 million transferred from unknown wallet to Coinbase. Uh-oh. Are they selling 71 million? Do we have any whale experts in here? So bullish divergence on this weekly chart for MSAI. Oh, this is the daily chart, but this is pulling up weekly divergence. Let's switch over to the weekly. So you have long-term bullish divergence and bullish divergence on the daily chart for MSA. Let's see what it looks like over here. Yeah. It's, picking it up on the indicator. This is the weekly chart, bullish divergence. Could be a higher low. Could be turning around on the weekly chart. Daily chart. Woo! Could see a buy signal in the near future of MSAI. You've got the bullish divergence on the weekly chart, bullish divergence on the daily chart, breaking out of this downward trend line that's automatically drawn on our charting system. So I did not draw these trend lines, and you have gaps above. You have gaps above. So quick, let's see, measuring tool, current price. That would be a crazy 125% bounce to that small gap. It's a small gap. And then probably almost 200%. Yeah, 227% to that gap. So that would be pretty crazy. That's interesting. I'm going to have to, I don't even know what MSAI is. I'm going to have to take a deeper dive onto it. Queb, please. Yeah, just give me all the details, Toby. And is it crypto? Is it stock? What's the name of it? All that stuff, not just the ticker symbol. I mean, that's only $500 away. Lucky look. So it was only $500. But this one's interesting. So, anyways, we have all of that. You can build out strategy builder, alerts, news alerts if you're into that. Log all your positions and stuff, and it'll push it over to the dashboard. And of course, you got your watch list over here like that. And you've got the 70 plus hours of recorded coaching, all that stuff. So, woo. With that, let's get rocking and rolling. 73,600, 74,000 is not that far away. Less than $350 away from 74,000. Pending buy signal. Seems like it's going to be a buy signal by the end of the day. Uh, dang, there's a lot of whale alerts going on right now. Woo. Okay. Yesterday we had a couple towards the end, but today there's a lot. Bum bum bum. What else? What else? Let's go to the weekly chart and let's go over to the bear market roadmap, right? So the bear market roadmap, this is a big bullish engulfing candle in the weekly chart. But as you can see, the red trending dots are way up here at $87,000, right? $87,000. So what does that mean? Just means that the overall trend is down and we expect bounces along the way. So over here, when price came down to 80,500 ish back in November, price got pretty far extended away from the trending dots. And there was sideways price action and pumped all the way up to 97,000, letting the trending dots catch up. When the trending dots were at 112,000, price was down here at 80,000, right? And so pumped up wick almost $98,000, and the trending dot was at 100. So letting the trending dots catch up. Again, price came all the way down to 60, call it $60,000. At the same time, the weekly trending dots were at 95,000. Now they're down to 87,000. So expecting bounces along the way and letting the trending dots catch up on the weekly chart, right? So that's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing. So the overall trend is down on the weekly chart, but we do expect bounces. We do expect the bulls to get excited again. Told you the bottom was in. Yeah, right. But they told us the bottom was in over here at 80,000. They told us the bottom was in at 103,000. And they've told us the bottom is in all the way down, right? So we just block out the noise and we trust what we see on the charts. So the weekly chart is bearish. We've hit 3 longer term targets so far, almost tagging the 4th target. 5 out of 5 targets were hit in 2022. And the 200-week moving average SMA, the 200-week SMA was tagged and then price went 30% below the 200-week moving average in 2022 as well. So they're all on there for a reason, and we'll see if they get hit by the end of March or early April. Timing wise, we don't have a magic crystal ball, so we don't know. What else? 2-week chart. Oh, let's switch this over to line because we were talking about this one, right? You see the big move down, the bigger bounce up in February. This yellow line is 2022. And there was a lot of experts out there selling courses back in 2022. Huge accounts. 200,000 followers, 600,000 followers, blah, blah, blah. All talking about the bottom is in and we're going higher. And in the Discord and on X, I was talking about shorting Ethereum on this bounce when Ethereum was at 4,384. I was like, it's a lower high. I'm shorting. And there's a lot of reasons why price could go below $1,000. I'm sorry, it was at $3,408. $3,408 Ethereum back then, and why it could go back down to below $1,000. In hindsight, it went below 900, right? So here we are. Big bounce. Big drop on the blue. Bounce back up. Another drop. And this week isn't over. We still have the rest of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So this bounce could look lower, it could look higher, but letting the trending dots catch up. Yesterday, there was a little bit of a bounce, and I was showcasing this little bit of a bounce. I don't remember, but this bounce could have looked higher and then closed lower, possibly. Market Sniper in the house. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Uh, so however the price action plays out, we are expecting lower, which could be, could be March, could be April, could be the end of April, right? Could be middle of April by the time hitting the 200-week SMA. But the main thing is that look at the trending dots, right? Look at the trajectory of the trending dots. It's going to take time. So however the price action plays out, the trending dots are coming down, right? So let's change that to red just so we can kind of see it a little bit better. Oh, what happened? I thought I had it selected. Let's see. Change that to red. And this is the red trending dots, right? You see the red trending dots. So this is the trajectory. So price is well ahead of the trajectory of the trending dots. So price is letting what I see on the weekly chart, price is letting the weekly trending dots catch up, right? But the overall trend is down and we're getting a bounce. So we're getting a bounce on the daily chart. We expect it. We're getting a relief rally on the daily chart. We expect it. So this is where we're at. Still a bear market until proven otherwise. It's going to take time for momentum to get turned around. If you look at the 2-week chart, right? 2-week chart. I'm pointing out the red trending dots. So if you just take off the line, you can see the red trending dots. And the red trending dots end up coming down to the 200-week SMA as well. Right? And then it starts to flip back around. Obviously, I don't trade just based off of that. The 2-week chart is too high of a time frame for me to make a decision. This is just to let you know, or just to show you what I'm seeing on the red trending dots and how long it takes. And you can see that the red trending dots start to coil up towards the bottom, but comes all the way down. So the red trending dots on the 2-week chart, it seems like we have a ways to go, right? It seems like we have a ways to go, timing-wise. So with that, the camera looks a little high. That's what we're seeing. If you look at the 3-week chart, even the 3-week chart, the red trending dots came below. And obviously, by the time they flipped green, we were already in a trade on January 4th, 2023 at 16,800. So the red trending dots are slow moving and they're lagging, right? But it's just to show you how long it takes. So we are somewhere back here. It's going to take time. And then that bull run with the green trending dots lasted a long time. It's a long time, right? This is a shorter amount of time. This is a longer time. Shorter amount of time. Never even tested the 200-week SMA with the red trending dots on the 3-week chart. Monthly chart. Long time on the green trending dots. We don't even have a red trending dot yet. We don't even have a red trending dot yet. But price came back down with the monthly sell signal, all that. So monthly sell, and that's where we're at right now. So a lot of similarities still, and it's just price is pretty far ahead of the red trending dots, and the overall momentum is to the downside on higher time frames, and it could remain that way. So this is symbolizing uh, letting the red trending letting the red trending dots catch up maybe by October, right? Kind of down over here. And by then we might already be positioning in or very close to positioning in to buy the right dip, right? The purpose of all this is to buy the right dip. We're not going to ever give financial advice. We're never going to tell you to buy. We will never tell you to buy or sell, ever. We will never give you financial advice, ever. This is purely for educational purposes only. I always say, do not copy trade me whatsoever. You should learn to read the charts for yourself, right? And if you want to take a deeper dive, cool. I recorded 70 plus hours of recorded coaching, which is on the Market Sniper portal. So, but I do post a lot of charts, and I will post, you know, uh, what I'm seeing, bullish or bearish. Try to remain neutral, and the daily chart is bullish, right? The daily chart is bullish. It is pending buy signal. It did have bullish divergence back here, right? It did have bullish divergence. It had an RSI buy signal back here. It did have bullish divergence, which we called out on the live stream. There was bullish divergence. This is a higher low. This is a higher low. So you had bullish divergence here, and this is a higher low. Breakout. And how high will we go? We don't know. We don't have a magic crystal ball. We can have targets. We can have all of that, and and stack the probabilities of where price is going to go. Like we only had this one target box for a long time, and two major targets were hit there, just like it was in 2022. So um, this setup here looks very similar to over here. Will it play exactly the same? I don't think so. Will it play similarly? Maybe. But there are a lot of similarities. This setup to this setup just seems like it's happening faster, right? Because the overall momentum looks. Mike's good. Yep. The overall momentum is more bearish now than over here. So we'll see what happens though. So we covered the monthly, 3-week, 2-week, weekly chart are still bearish momentum, and we're catching a bounce on the daily chart, right? So that's where we're at on Bitcoin. Bitcoin, let's see, HODL. All they do is gap, gap up, gap down on HODL Bitcoin ETFs. So there are so many gaps. It's not tradable for me. The Bitcoin HODL ETF is not tradable for me. Like, I don't want any part of this whatsoever. Bitcoin with leverage all day, but I don't want any part of this ETF whatsoever. Try to trade this ETF when all they do is gap it up or gap it down nonstop. No, thank you. No, thank you. I don't want it. I don't even want I don't want to, as they used to say a long time ago, I don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole, right? So Bitcoin futures, pending buy signal. There is that gap at 81,000. It's a tiny gap though. We don't know if it's going to get filled or not. And we might as well put out the trend lines. There you go. Oh, samurai bot. Uh-oh. Shh. Oh boy. Uh, I'm curious now. Beta test, beta test, beta test, beta test. Boom, boom, boom. Beta test, boom, boom, boom. Yeah. So drawing it out in real time, we got this trend line, we got this trend line, and now we've got these two trend lines. So we will see how it unfolds. Boom. Pending buy signal on Bitcoin futures. Coming over to Bitcoin versus gold, also bouncing. There was bullish divergence as well. So bounce incoming for Bitcoin versus gold. Bitcoin versus the euro, pending buy signal. A lot of similarities. Market cap, pending buy. But going back to over here, we keep talking about it, but we're going to keep talking about it until things change. But we do have two things that have happened that has never happened in the history of Bitcoin versus gold. Something to pay attention to. Let's see this. You can see over here. You can follow along the SMA 200 week. This number right here. Watch. You can go from 21.91, 21.88, 89, 91, 88, 83, 68, 65. Right. So that means that the 200 week SMA is downward slope. Oh, mic check. Good. Is downward sloping on Bitcoin versus gold for the first time in history. For the first time in history, it's downward sloping. That's not bullish. So we've been talking about it. We've been covering it, but we'll continue to cover it. The other thing is we've been talking about that this is the lowest on February. This is the lowest monthly RSI close ever on Bitcoin versus gold. And it was right around 34. It was 34.1, looks like. And then we drew this out. We drew this, copied it on yesterday's live stream. So that's interesting. And then we even mapped out a potential, and it could reverse back around like that, which would be like August, and then it starts to reverse back around September, October. And then we also did like a scenario where maybe it's a long-term bear market and there's long-term bullish divergence because there's a dot-com bubble-like crash, or there is a 2008-like crash. We don't know if that's going to ever happen or not. It did not happen in 2022. But if it were to happen, then that would be my one what-if scenario to the downside. But right now, we have it kind of mapped out that what if this is the bottom and then there's another lower bottom, and we drew it out. We traced this line and then we copied it and cloned it over, or moved it over here, right? And then, of course, there's other possibilities as well. And it could create, the bullish divergence and stuff like that, which would be a prolonged bear market. So this is the lowest the monthly RSI has ever been. Catching a similar bounce. in July. So it went from June to July, and then we'll see if it comes back down. See if it comes back down in August, right? And then you got September, then you got October, and then we'll see how it plays out after that. So, a couple interesting things going on Bitcoin versus gold. What else? Let's get into the altcoins. ETH. Bum, bum. So you've got ETH. Did take out the all-time high with a wick on the monthly chart from 2021, but had a monthly close lower. These are the largest. Should we redraw it? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Kind of want to redraw it. It's probably I probably drew it with a log. That's why. But those are kind of large, right? Boom. Lower high. There we go. So it took out this wick over here on the monthly chart, but had a monthly close lower. So didn't go as high as what Bitcoin did, right? Above the former all-time high. And we now have a downward sloping 200-week moving average on Ethereum. So longer term, it does not look great. Longer term, there's a downward sloping 200-week moving average. That's the first time it's ever happened in Ethereum. In the history of Ethereum, there's never been a downward sloping 200-week moving average. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So that's my overall thought on the monthly chart. Daily chart has a pending buy signal, right? So they're all moving similarly together. And bum, bum, bum. So we will see pending buy signal, downward sloping 200-week moving average. That's not bullish. XRP, bullish divergence, higher low. Probably going to see a bounce. Monthly chart is still bearish. Weekly chart, still bearish. Weekly chart, just letting the trending dots catch up. We were talking about this a lot back in March 2020. Not March, but from that pivot point of March 2025, we were talking about it a lot that if we see a weekly candle close below, and we did over here in December, but then price bounced up to 2.4 and tagged the trending dots. But as we see weekly candle close below this pivot point, the probabilities we're continuing to increase that price is going to come back down and hit the 200-week SMA. And it got very close, within pennies, right? Within pennies. So in real time, it did not. In hindsight, it looks like it. Whale alert. So there we go. What else? Chainlink, similar thoughts. Still bearish, downward sloping 200-week moving average. Cardano. Algo. HBAR. XLM. Near. So all of those are having bounces. Like Near kind of led the way on the bounce. Had the buy signal first at the end of February. And is that it? Is that going to be it for the bounce? So from wick to wick, that was 70% bounce, right? So it's possible that was it. That was the bounce. That was the bounce for Near, and it seems like it 34% bounce. So In a downtrend, you've seen some massive bounces, right? 84% bounce, 34% bounce, 70% bounce, right? All in a downtrend, all in a declining downtrend of the 200-week SMA. You've seen some 84% bounces, but um, calling the bottom all the way down while everything is trending downward. MicroStrategy, the canary in the coal mine for Bitcoin, come back up for a retest of the 200-week SMA. Here we are, still expecting it to, take time for the ship to get turned around. And you get the training dots up here, still all the way at 170. So that's where we're at right now. Broke the confirmation line, similar to XRP. Started closing weekly below that confirmation line, and this was an actual Adam and Eve double top pattern. You can kind of see it better if we hide it, right? And you can see that the last bear market for MicroStrategy was similar, right? Similar, not exact, but similar. So bada bing, bada boom. We'll come back to the NASDAQ and SP 500. Both are bouncing. Woo-wee. Bum, 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 bum. There we go. MicroStrategy, gold, higher time frames remain ultra bullish. Will we see a topping pattern? Will we see bearish divergence topping pattern? Does it take time to play out? Seems like it would, right? Is the top in? Maybe, but you can see the trending dots. If this is going to be a top, it'll take time for the ship to get turned around, right? It'll take time for the momentum to get turned around. Right now, the momentum is to the upside. The momentum is to the upside right now. So while this is happening, there could be higher highs creating bearish divergence. Right now, there's bearish divergence. There could be additional bearish divergence, right? So we'll see. We'll see. But gold on the daily chart, we put this fractal out back here on end of January. And although it's not exact, it's very similar to the exact same setup that was over here, right? So many were calling for gold top to be in. And I said the higher time frames are ultra bullish. It's still buy the dip season. And that turned out in hindsight to be true. It's still, could the top be in this time? Yes, it could. But the higher time frames are still ultra bullish. So it's still buy the dip season until proven otherwise, which just means, as it's getting very extended away from the 200-week SMA, I would be less and less confident of buying the dip, but I'm still not looking to short gold, right? There's not a bone in my body that wants to short gold right now. I have zero willingness to short gold, because while the higher time frames are ultra bullish, it could rip right back up and make a new all-time high. It's possible we see $6,000 gold. It's possible. So until it goes through like an entire, or the higher time frames are no longer ultra bullish, I don't have any interest in shorting gold. And they will pick tops all the way, right? Just like they will pick bottoms all the way. So the uptrend is strong to the upside. Monthly chart, I mean, it's extended away, but if you start shorting it because it was overbought, and you're shorting it because it's overbought, and it's overbought, and it's overbought, and you see these huge wicks, oh, the top could be in, top could be in, top could be in, and the top could be in all the way up, right? We don't know. Uh, going back to 2000s, top could be in, top could be in, top could be in, and then look how long it took for it to like start breaking down on the monthly chart. So if we go back on the weekly chart, this is 2011, right? You see, kept pushing up, kept pushing up, kept pushing up. Lower highs, still battled for a year, and then finally dropped to the 200-week SMA, right? So it went sideways for pretty much a year, consolidated, and created the big cup and handle that we posted back a couple of years ago, right? A couple of years ago, we posted that big cup and handle. So it went sideways, up, down, up, down, up, down, and then finally retested the 200-week SMA, right? So boom, crushed that cup and handle target, crushed it. Went way higher than my target. I put these targets out way back here, back in October, 2.5 years ago, right? We're really far extended away. So the 200-week SMA is at 2,500. What if for a year, is he May? What is this? February 2026. What if for a year, right? It did this. 200-week SMA flattens out, and then you see it retest over here. That would be like deja vu, right? That would be similar to what gold did back in 2011. So, and this would be yellow. There you go. So that's kind of the way I see it. That's if it played out similarly, but it could play out differently too with bearish divergence and stuff like that. So, woo-wee. That's gold. Silver, similar thoughts on silver. Talked about it, covered it. Dollar, still bullish on the daily chart. Had the breakout. Weekly chart has a pending buy signal. Still, we covered all of that. We got some drawings here. We covered it when it was just starting to break out on the weekly chart at 98.65 it was, and then it pushed all the way to 99.66. And so we'll see how it unfolds. The VIX pumps hard, it dumps hard. Daily chart, right? Breakout. Now it's back into it. Could come all the way back down, and then see how it unfolds. So the VIX is a wild animal. I rarely trade the VIX. What else? Magnificent Seven, SMCI, Chop City over here. It's just been chopping around since November, right? It's been chop, chop, chop. Another pending buy signal on the daily chart. It's because it takes time for the trending dots to catch up, right? So it's been chopping around since November. We're looking at about 5 months, almost 5 months, because if you look at it, the trending dots were at $47 5 months ago. Now the trending dots are down here at $33 5 months later. And there is buy sell, buy sell, buy sell, buy sell, buy sell on the daily chart, chopping around. We're finally letting the weekly trending dots catch up. So that's exactly what I'm talking about for all these assets, right? It takes time for the momentum to turn around. Daily chart, TQQQQQ. Weekly chart, pending buy signal, but below the trending dots, right? This is a sell signal, but it was above the trending dots. So all things considering, it's a pending buy signal. However, it's below the trending dots, right? So on a weekly chart, it's below the trending dots. So you have it. So I'm still expecting all bounces to get sold off on TQQQQ. QQQQQQ. PLTR catching a nice bounce. It was consolidating at the target that was hit. I was too lazy to draw all the targets. Found support. It's bouncing right now. All bounces have been sold off so far. Weekly chart is well below the trending dots. Expecting the bounces to get sold off, right? Expecting the bounce to get sold off. Similar thoughts on Amazon, below the trending dots in the weekly chart. Expecting the bounce to get sold off, but doesn't mean it couldn't come back up and close these gaps over here. How are we doing on time? Okay, we'll probably start kicking in to a little bit higher gear over here. Amazon could close those gaps, but below the weekly trending dots, pending buy signal. Breaking news, pending buy signal. Tesla, similar thoughts. Weekly chart is below the trending dots. All right. A lot of reasons why we could see price lower. Meta, battling, NVIDIA, NASDAQ futures, target one, kind of target one, bounce, 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 bounce. Still bullish on the weekly chart, but below the trending dots. 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be the 5th week that price closes below the trending dots, and we've got our first red trending dot on the weekly chart. First weekly green trending dot, price was well above it already, right? So Microsoft filled this gap over here. Russell 2000 still holding on above the trending dots as of right now. Below it on the daily chart. Netflix. On the pending buy signal over here on live stream, we posted this over here like that. The relief rally. SP 500 similar to the NASDAQ. Below the trending dots on the daily chart and the weekly chart. Dow Jones, similar to the Russell. Apple, Google, A&F, right? They gapped up on us. They gapped below on us. We didn't get a solid entry on it over here. Woo. All right, let's circle back. Let's do some of these chart requests. And if you have multiple chart requests, just Moonbeam. I mean, GLMR, if you look out and zoom out on the chart, on the 2-week chart, the monthly chart, it looks like the wick was the all-time high wick was at $50. And it's at 1 penny right now. So is the bottom in? I don't know. 0.0112. Basically, this coin died, right? From $50 down to 1 penny. That's like 99.999999% drop. And yeah, there's bullish divergence on the daily chart, but the daily chart remains bearish. The weekly chart is really bearish. The higher time frames, this, you know, it's possible for a long time you may only see little tiny pumps for a long time. Indefinitely as of right now. So, yes, you do have bullish divergence. That's one positive. That's it. Everything else is a negative. So, you have one positive of bullish divergence. Everything else is against it. So, could it bounce? Could it catch a bounce like this? And that bounces, from wick to wick, 48%. Sure. Why not? But do we expect the bounces to get sold off the way in the condition of the higher time frames? Yeah. I don't know anything about Moonbeam. But I can tell you that on the charts, the higher time frames are bearish. And it continues to make lower lows. And so is that the low? Is that going to be the all-time low? It's too early to say. This could have been the all-time low. This could have been the all-time low. This could have been the all-time low. And then it just keeps all-time lowing, right? All the way down from $50 to 1 penny. So it's just basically straight down and then flat line. So even over here, the bottom could have been in at 25 cents back in 2022. And then it dropped another from 2022, dropped another 95% down to 1 penny. So I don't know, is the bottom in? Downward, it's like a straight downward sloping 200-week moving average. So yeah, it's not for me. It looks dead to me. Could it bounce? Sure. Is it going to recover from this? I don't know. That's pretty crazy. 99.9999% maybe drop. 99.97%, right? So not much really else to cover on it. I don't even know what that is. K-Web? Yeah, K-Web is still in a bear market since February 2021. So, 5-year, more than 5-year bear market. And from wick to wick, 83.5%, right? And then you can see where price came down to this area at $31, March 2022. It's the same price as March 2022. So 4 years of down, up, but overall, like, you're just looking at the consolidation of it. It's like right in the middle of the consolidation. So had another sell signal on the monthly chart. One positive is that the 200-week SMA is starting to slope upwards again. So that's a positive. Excuse me. Had some buy signals on the monthly chart, green trending dot. So those are some positives, but momentum is going back down to the downside. So, it's been a battle for K-Web for sure. And, weekly chart, ultra bearish on the weekly chart. That's not a positive sign right now. Bum, bum, bum. I think that's about it. Let's see what else. Daily chart and weekly chart are ultra bearish. Yeah, there's not a ton of chart history on this. You seem to love all the newer coins. uh, they're just not for me, right? They're not for me because, if you look at it, there's not a lot of chart history, and a lot of the ones they pump all the way up on the first monthly candle, say at about 99 cents, let's call it, and then just drop straight down. Like, that's not for me whatsoever. Like, I'm not interested in that at all. But, you know, to each their own, right? Whatever you're into. Uh, this was bullish divergence, buy signal, buy signal, sold off, 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 right? The higher time frames are bearish. Could it go through a bottoming phase? Sure. Sure. How long though? How long could it go through a bottoming phase? Years? Forever? I don't know. So if you're on lower time frames, maybe it makes sense, but 1 hour chart, right? So that's about it. Ooh, got some late requests. I'm running out of steam over here. Gotta get the requests in early. I'll probably do one more. Maybe I'll do ZAR. Zcash. Remind me tomorrow. ZAR USD. I'm not finding it. I need more details, I guess. So I'm not going to be able to chart that one for you. Let's go back to Bitcoin. There we go. Ooh, the 1 hour chart is extended. All right. I think that's about it. So covered it all. Bitcoin, altcoins, chart requests, stocks, Magnificent Seven, all of that. Thank you for all of your support. I appreciate all of you. And we will see you on tomorrow's live stream. Make sure to get your chart requests in early so that once we get to about an hour or whatever, I don't want to be like running out of steam and then you're putting in a last chart request. So make sure to put in the ticker symbol and all of the details. Otherwise, I can't find it quickly on the search, and then I just move on. Lucky look, you should know better by now. And we will continue to sniper the markets tomorrow. Thank you so much. Yep. Thank you. So with that, we'll see you on tomorrow's live stream. We'll continue to sniper the markets together. With that, have a good rest of your day. Have a good evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Adios.